Hello, I'm Ruth Duber, and this is What's Cooking at Shell Point with, my buddy again. I don't know, every time I try and think of something to cook, what comes to my mind is Eleanor, because I think you're well known throughout Shell Point. I used to call you my butter lady.
That's
because
right.
The first few recipes you made were just so much butter.
Well, everything's better with a little extra butter in it.
That's right.
That's
so
right.
She's gracious enough to come again. And this time she's going to do sort of a main meal. And it's just, I have already tasted it, and it's delicious. So, Eleanor, why don't you tell them how to do this? Because it's really kind of simple.
It's very simple, and I will. And thank you. I love being here, probably more than you love having me here. So today we're going to make little cheesy meatloaves, is what they are.
For sandwiches.
Very simple. You can eat it when you bake it when it's hot, and then, like Ruth said, then you get the wonderful
sandwiches.
meatloaf sandwiches. But it makes 3 small meatloaves, each recipe does, and it's very simple, simple ingredients. You do have to have 1 pound of meat, so that's what this is here. 1 egg.
I'll take these for
Okay,
you.
3/4 cup of milk, and I use 2% milk.
That's what that is.
Okay, because that's what I keep at the house. So
right, me too.
I can't tell one way or the other of milk. 1 cup of sharp grated cheddar cheese. Have to get all that out. And a 1/2 cup of oats, oatmeal. You can't no instant oatmeal, because that's not real. See, the quick cooking do just fine. The salt is optional. You can put the salt in it because it's just a 1/2 of a teaspoon. But anyway, I've always thought of a teaspoon as a tisp.
All righty.
I'm going to stir this up just a little bit. You don't really have to, but that's a me thing. 1/2 cup of chopped onions. Do that with my fingers too. And mix all that up, and then you put in your ground beef. You have to use your hands. I don't want to make a mess on her counter. Put the ground beef in, and maybe y'all can mix up a meatloaf with a spoon, but I can't. So this is what you do, okay?
You're going to need it. You're going to be sticky.
Yes. So then you mix it up really, really good. My brain likes simple a whole lot better now that I'm aging. Now, I tell you what, Ruth.
What you need?
I really need a little piece of wax paper right here. Okay, and I'll do that little blob down, and then I'll do another one, and then we'll see how it comes out. See, because one of them's already littler, smaller, flatter, rounder.
Yeah.
You know, you can kind of do what you want, but this is what I do with them, and kind of make it right there. All right. See, that one is going to be a little bit bigger, isn't it? That's okay. I think I'll put these this way, since that's the biggest. Okay. There's a sauce that goes over these, and that's why you really need a pan like this. Adds to them to have the fluid and all from each other, and the sauce over the top. The sauce is made up of ketchup, brown sugar, and dry mustard. So it takes 2/3 of a cup of ketchup.
And you've already got your sugar.
Yeah,
in
and
there.
1/4 of a cup of brown sugar, right there. This is a 1½ teaspoon spoon.
Yeah, you did that on the show today. So,
A tisp one, okay.
1.5 tisp.
1½ tisp.
Approximately.
Okay, that's about.
That's good, yeah.
You might want to make it the first time just with this sauce and see how you like it. I like just a little bit. I mean, you know, just like a tisp.
A tisp.
A teaspoon.
Or a 1/2 tisp.
Or to put it in there. But if you want it just gives it a little bit of zip, tang, whatever
Okay.
you want to
Just a
call
little
it.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll just put a little bit in there. I'm going to put
Okay.
that down in there. Okay? And then you just mix this up really well. Excuse me. You and I thought of the same thing at the same time, didn't we? Okay. And then you just pour it over the meatloaves. And you may have to, I'm going to have to spread out the topping a little bit. And then it is ready for the oven. It goes in a 350-degree oven. If the meat is not, isn't real cold, then it'll take it about 30 minutes
Okay.
to cook. Now, if you make the meat loaves up, because you can make the loaves up and put that in the refrigerator.
Okay.
Like if you
And
wanted
then
to do
add
it
the sauce
before, and
later.
then, or either you can put the
You put
sauce
this
in.
way.
I made it up, the one I made to bring, I made it up last night,
Okay.
and then I got it out today. But so if you've had it made up like enough to get really cold, either let it sit out for about 30 minutes, or it's going to take at least 15 minutes longer to bake.
Okay.
Because of the
Yeah,
coldness.
I don't
it's
like to put anything really cold
cold.
in the oven.
I don't either.
I
But
don't-
anyway,
don't
just
trust it.
remember that. It
So
will
I'm going to
take-
put this in the oven.
Okay. And then when I take it out, the first thing I do is I just cut the little end piece off to be sure it's done.
Okay.
Of one of the loaves.
God made
God
fingers.
made fingers, and they work well. They really work well.
Oh.
It's good. It's got a good texture,
It does. It's perfect.
and
Yeah.
and it does make really good meatloaf sandwiches.
Oh, well, that's the reason I make meatloaf.
We do too. That's David's favorite part. And each little individual loaf, you could freeze. If you
That's right.
or share. If you wanted to.
Uh-huh.
I love to share what I cook with other people. So, you can do whatever you want to, and they will freeze perfectly, and they're not too big. But you can also, if you're having people over, you could make them a little smaller and make like 4, or just cut them in half and give everybody just a half a little loaf.
Okay, sure. Well,
But
have fun with this. I'll put the
hope so.
recipe up on the website, and have fun and just enjoy this,
Yeah.
and especially the sandwiches.
Hope
Thank
you enjoy
Eleanor.
it, yeah.
Thank you, Eleanor.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.